Hello everyone and welcome back to Speak Smart. Today we're taking a bit of a different approach, but I think you'll find it super interesting.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Different how?
Well, a listener sent us some really cool material. It's transcripts from an English-speaking course.
Okay, English-speaking course transcripts. What's so special about those?
That's what I thought at first too, right? But then I started reading and I realized there's a lot we can actually unpack here. These aren't just, dry grammar exercises. These are little snapshots of everyday interactions, phone calls, visiting friends, even just figuring out what to eat. It's basic stuff, sure, but it's the kind of basic stuff we do all the time without even thinking.
I see where you're going with this. You're thinking by analyzing these simple dialogues, we can uncover some hidden gems about how we communicate and how we connect as humans.
Exactly. We're going deep, like archaeologists of everyday speech, looking for clues about the patterns and the unspoken rules that shape our social lives.
I'm game. Let's unearth some linguistic treasures.
Perfect. All right, so Unit 1, making a phone call. We start with Bob calling Al bright and early, 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
Oof, 8 a.m. on a Saturday. That's rough.
Right. And Bob even thinks he's late for work at first, totally forgetting it's the weekend. Relatable, am I right?
Oh, totally. I've definitely had those moments where the days blur together.
But here's where it gets interesting. After the initial confusion, there's this very casual suggestion from Al. Why don't you come to my house and we'll think of something? No need for concrete plans, just an open invitation to hang out. What do you make of that?
That's classic casual friend behavior. You're so comfortable with each other that you don't need a structured activity to justify spending time together. It's all about the company, being in each other's space and seeing where the day takes you.
So refreshing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Makes you think we could all use a bit more of that spontaneity in our lives.
Moving on to Unit 2, visiting a friend. Bob heads over to Al's, and it's just this comedy of errors with drinks. First, no orange juice. Then, no grape juice.
Oh, no. The ultimate disappointment.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is how they handle it. There's no complaining, no drama, just a let's go out and grab something to eat solution. What's the lesson here?
Adaptation. Life throws curveballs, even as simple as running out of juice. It's how you react that matters. These guys show that rolling with the punches and finding a workaround is key to a harmonious friendship.
And then enters Juanita in Unit 3. Greeting and introduction. We get some classic social niceties, the beautiful smile compliment, and the playful, you're not that handsome, but you look okay. Just establishing a friendly vibe, wouldn't you say?
Totally. Those little exchanges, even if they're silly, are the building blocks of social connection. You acknowledge each other, throw in some lighthearted banter, and boom, you've set a comfortable tone.
Plus, the ongoing saga of the missing orange juice continues. A running gag, I guess.
Exactly. Provides a bit of continuity and humor across the unit.
Now, Unit 4, breakfast recommendation, is where things get really specific. We're treated to a laundry list of breakfast options. Large breakfast, pancakes, eggs scrambled, sunny side up, almost with cheese, ham, vegetables, fruit, yogurt, muffins, you name it. Why this deep dive into breakfast, do you think?
It's all about showcasing individual preferences, right? Even something as basic as breakfast can be an expression of who we are. The level of detail highlights how important it is to articulate what we want, what we like, and how we communicate those things to others. It's almost like a mini masterclass in negotiation.
Good point. And speaking of negotiation, in Unit 5, ordering food, we see these preferences put to the test. Al goes for a pretty standard order, but then Bob, bless his heart, orders a hamburger and ice cream for breakfast. Al's reaction, a classic, are you crazy?
Which is hilarious. And again, it speaks to the diversity of individual choices. What one person considers totally normal, another might find utterly baffling. But the key is, it's not judgmental. It's just playful surprise. There's an acceptance there.
And in Unit 6, check please, we get a taste of how they navigate the financial side of their outing. Splitting the bill, a moment of forgotten cash, a discount, a tip. It's like a crash course in social etiquette around money.
Absolutely. The forgotten money bit is so relatable, and it tests their friendship in a small way. But again, they handle it with grace, offering solutions, and demonstrating that little acts of generosity can go a long way. Makes you think about how we handle those kinds of situations in our own lives, right?
It does. Now, Unit 7, meeting a friend, introduces a chance encounter with Michelle, a former schoolmate. It's all about rekindling those connections from the past, effortlessly picking up where you left off.
What I find interesting here is how naturally they slide back into conversation. They catch up on life, work, and even end up with a plan to visit Michelle's phone shop later. Shows how valuable those past connections can be.
It's a reminder to never underestimate the power of a casual, hey, long time no see.
Yeah, totally. And you never know when a past connection might come in handy, like Bob needing a new phone.
Exactly. Speaking of which, Unit 8, how is your car? Focuses on, well, cars. Al's car is in the shop for a tune-up. It's old, a 75 model, but still kicking. And this, of course, leads to the question of how they'll get to the movie.
See, even mundane conversations about car troubles reveal something about our characters and how they problem solve. They bounce ideas back and forth, considering options. It's the stuff of real life, woven into their social dynamic.
No glamorous sports cars here, just a trusty old ride and some good old-fashioned resourcefulness.
Right. Which brings us to Unit 9, about the train. Bob's a fan of the train, finds it convenient and efficient, but then, classic sitcom mishap, they end up on the wrong platform.
Oh, I've been there. Not fun.
The beauty of it is they don't let it derail their plan. They keep their sense of humor, hop in a taxi, and move on. That adaptability is a major life skill, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Sometimes the detours lead to the best adventures.
Love that. And then we find ourselves in a shoe shop in Unit 10, a pair of shoes. The focus shifts to shopping and price negotiation. There's a huge price difference between the imported shoes and the locally made ones.
$80 versus $20. That's quite a gap. What does that tell us?
Well, for one, it highlights the economic factors at play. But then there's the negotiation part. Haggling over a few dollars might not be common everywhere, but it adds another layer of social interaction to the experience.
It shows a willingness to engage, even if it's over something small. And back at Michelle's shop in Unit 11, buying a phone, Bob finally joins the mobile world. Al's refusal to lend his phone and the general prevalence of mobile phones are his main motivators.
It's funny, right? This was probably written before everyone had a smartphone glued to their hand, but it highlights the shifting social landscape and how technology influences our interactions.
Bob's just looking for the basics, a loud ringtone and vibration. He's not caught up in all the bells and whistles. Practical guy.
And speaking of practical, or rather not so practical, Unit 12, Directions to the Toilet, is comedic gold. Al gives Bob these long, winding directions that lead to, well, nowhere. It's the ultimate miscommunication fiasco.
And Al's solution. I'll draw you a map. Oh, Al.
It just shows how even with the best intentions, conveying information clearly can be tricky, and how easily a simple need, like finding a restroom, can turn into a comedy of errors.
Life, right? And then in Unit 13, make an appointment for later, we encounter the struggle of coordinating schedules. Michelle can't join them right away and has another commitment later. It's the age-old problem of trying to find a time that works for everyone.
Which often involves compromise and flexibility and sometimes a bit of disappointment. But hey, that's part of the dance of friendship and social planning.
Then in Unit 14, choosing a movie, we get a glimpse into their decision-making process. They consider foreign films, action movies, love stories before settling on a comedy Fool School based on a newspaper review.
I love how this highlights how we make choices, not just about movies, but about anything. Personal preferences, past experiences, external recommendations. It's all part of the equation.
And sometimes a good laugh is all you need.
Exactly. Keep it light. Now, Unit 15, what a coincidence, throws in a delightful twist. Turns out Michelle's friend Juanita is also friends with Al and Bob. It's a small world moment leading to the suggestion of all going out together.
It's those unexpected connections that can enrich our social circles, right? You never know who you might meet through mutual friends.
And in Unit 16, Making a Date, Al takes the initiative and calls Michelle to set up the group dinner. There's some calendar juggling, but they land on a date and time, opting for Chateau de May with a coupon.
I like that. A touch of elegance, but still budget conscious. It's a good reminder that you can enjoy nice things without breaking the bank.
Absolutely. And then we get a peek into the world of errands in Unit 17, going to the shop. Michelle asks Al to pick up a bunch of things from the corner store. Bread, tissues, newspaper, toothpaste, laundry soap. But of course, there are the multiple wait moments as she remembers more items.
I swear, that's every trip to the store for me. The list just keeps growing.
It's so true to life, isn't it? And it highlights those little acts of service we do for each other, even if it involves multiple trips back and forth to the store.
And then, in Unit 18, postponing, we get that dreaded wrench in the plans. Juanita has a dentist appointment and can't make the dinner.
Which is a classic example of life throwing a curveball and trying to reschedule that appointment, a nightmare. It's like trying to move mountains, you know what I mean?
Oh, tell me about it.
But the important thing is they adapt. They propose moving the dinner to Friday, showing a willingness to be flexible and accommodating.
And in Unit 19, passing a message, we see the importance of clear communication when plans change. Juanita calls Al, who then updates Bob. A simple act, but crucial for keeping everyone in the loop.
Absolutely. It prevents misunderstandings, confusion, and hurt feelings.
In Unit 20, making a reservation, Al takes charge again and calls Chateau de May to rebook for Friday night. He gets all the details sorted, securing their spot for dinner.
Again, it emphasizes the importance of being organized and taking those practical steps to ensure a smooth and enjoyable outing.
And finally, in Unit 21, at the restaurant, it's time for the grand finale. They're all gathered, enjoying their meal, and then comes the gift exchange.
This is the part I've been waiting for. Tell me, what treasures do they bestow upon each other?
Bob gives Juanita an Oscar fish, a fish that eats goldfish, by the way.
Yeah.
And Michelle gifts Al a framed picture of himself on a dartboard.
Oh, I love it. Those gifts are so uniquely them. It's not about expensive items. It's about those thoughtful, funny gestures that reflect their personalities and the inside jokes of their friendships.
The perfect ending to a deep dive into their social lives.
And as we wrap up with Unit 22, making a toast, there's a sense of warmth and celebration, a toast to friendship with a playful hint of romantic tension. The suggestion of more gift-giving next time seals the deal.
It's amazing how much we can learn about human interaction from these seemingly simple English lessons.
You said it. It makes you appreciate the everyday moments, the little exchanges, the shared meals, the inside jokes, and the simple joys of friendship.
It really does. So to our listeners out there, I challenge you to pay attention to the seemingly mundane interactions in your own lives. What do they reveal about your relationships and the way you connect with others? What hidden treasures can you unearth?
It's a treasure hunt worth embarking on.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you for listening to Speak Smart. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button.